Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another off the cuff chat with me, FPL Mez. And I'm doing a second stream this week, which is not really like me, but yeah, I guess I'm playing a bit of catch up on some of the FPL content that I've not been able to create over the last couple of weeks. And I'm on a free hit, and I could do with your help as well. So if you are tuning in for the first time, thank you so much. These are very off the cuff chats. I don't really prepare too much content. I don't really prepare too much around what I'm going to be talking about, except this week, where I'm going to be talking through my free hit drafts. And you can see that I've got my Miro planning board. So this is the board that I use to get planning. And yeah, I'll sort of, so this season I've been doing lots and lots of planning. You can see like all the different sort of bits of planning that I've been doing over here. And yeah, I just use it as a massive like collaboration board. You can see some of like Ben Crellin's, fixture ticker there, and Lego Mane's one as well. And I've been sort of down this side over here where I've been planning earlier sort of game weeks and just kind of adding notes and things like that around here. So what I'm going to do today is basically talk through some of my free hit drafts. So hopefully it will be it'll be clearer by the end of the stream anyway, at least what I think I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck at the moment because I did about 5 drafts or so. Actually, I did more. I think I must have done like 6 or 7 drafts, and yeah, got sort of, really confused around which drafts I wanted loved the most, and then ended up sort of narrowing down to about 4 drafts. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to share those with you, and you can give me a hand as well. And yeah, great to have you guys in the chat. Thank you again for being there. So, all right, let's get stuck into it. So I've kind of like narrowed it down over here. So I'll just zoom into these ones. Okay, so draft A. So if you caught my stream earlier in the week, I was talking through a couple of the options that I was, thinking about. And actually, I'll show you really quickly. I'd sort of gone through a whole bunch of drafts online and found these were the most popular picks on free hit. And, you can see there, from a goalkeeper's perspective, Raya, Allison, Henderson, probably the top 3 picks that I kept seeing on free hit drafts. And Pickford and Sarr were on there as well. And what I've done is bolded out the players that were pretty much locked in most of the teams. So not necessarily the ones that I'm definitely bringing in, but they were locked in most of the teams. So yes, I'm really keen to probably keep those players in there. But you'll see in my draft where I've kind of deviated a little bit around from what I thought I was going to be able to do and what I've ended up, what I'm ending up doing as well. So draft A. So if I show you just from afar, so I've got a couple of players that are locked in all of the drafts. If I start from there, so Gabriel, Trent, Saka, Salah, Eze, and Mateta are probably the players that are fixed in my most of the drafts that I made, and I kept sort of going back to those. And then I was socializing ideas around having single game week players, and the single game week players that I'd be keen on were Bruno and Watkins, just because they've got 2 really juicy home fixtures. So yeah, it just made sense to try and sort of consider Bruno and Watkins there as well. So let me jump through like draft A. So draft A, I've got double Liverpool defence, and you're probably seeing a lot of this as well. So if you're on a free hit as well, I've been seeing a lot of double Liverpool defence. I've been seeing a lot of double Arsenal defence, and given where I'm at, so I'll show you both of these at the same time. So this is the double Arsenal defence, double Liverpool defence, and the midfield of choice that I've got there, along with Bruno being the single game week midfielder that I've got there as well, is Havertz and Diaz. And so just fairly, I think anyway, safe picks. Havertz could easily be Odegaard as well. Diaz could be a Jota if you fancy a punty sort of pick with Jota. I mean, minutes is always going to be a bit of a risk there with Jota. I think it's going to be the same with Trent as well. But so if I sort of, just talk through the draft really quickly, the differences between this is Alisson's in goal or Raya's in goal. And then I've got Gabrielle, who's fixed in there. Munoz is fixed there in both of these ones as well. And I've got Trent there as well. And I was I was just chatting to FPL Crisis, and he quoted I think it was FML FPL, who had said something about if you're not scared when you're not taking a chance. If you're not scared, then you're not taking a chance. And if you're not taking a chance, then what the fuck are you even doing playing FPL? And so, look, that's how I feel about Trent at the moment. So we know Trent is going to be a minute's risk, but I'm keen to keep him in my draft just because there's some upside there as well. So yes, I'm probably going to have Trent in my draft. So if I sort of show you the few more sort of differences. Actually, there isn't that much different there. My bench is exactly the same there. I've got Watkins just because I think that's a really good fixture for Watkins. And I've got Bruno in there as well. So these two are basically the opposites there from a, who do I want? Do I want more defensive on Arsenal side, more defensive on Liverpool side? Obviously, there's pros and cons there. Most people who are not on free hit will have double Arsenal defense anyway. I think double Liverpool defense will be the differential. I mean, and it's not really for the defensive. I honestly don't think it's really for any clean sheets there. I mean, if anything, maybe one clean sheet. I feel like the Everton match could be a really cagey one as well. It always is. That derby is just insane. I've actually attended that derby many, many years ago when I was living in the UK, and it's such a good derby, that one. Yeah, I think that could be a cagey game. So if anything, there could be a 0-0 possibly in that one. I'm not sure. I think Fulham, there'll definitely be goals, or there'll just be goals galore. And Liverpool haven't been great. We're now out of Europe. Even like the title challenge is proving to be a little bit difficult as well. And yeah, it's not looking too great. I think since that United draw that we had, it's not been looking too good, but I feel like it could be a bit of a turnaround. There's a turnaround sort of opportunity. This is just me believing, just channeling Ted Lasso here and believing that maybe, that will work out okay. But so between these two drafts, I don't really have a major preference. I think if anything, it would probably be the double Liverpool defense, just because I like the idea about attacking, so I've been trying to chase the upside. I'm sitting at about 255k at the moment, and I'd love to be doing a bit of chasing. And I reckon it'll probably be Arsenal. I mean, we've not been attacking very well. Liverpool have not been attacking very well. Like in terms of like just open play goals, it's just not been very good. So I'd probably be putting my money on Arsenal probably getting a bit more attacking returns there, and love to see sort of Havertz getting a goal against his old club as well. So yeah, so I reckon I'd be leaning towards draft A between these two drafts. But if I sort of show you the next draft that I've got, so draft C. This is where it gets slightly different. So I'm playing, actually, I should have mentioned over here, this is the formation with 3-5-2. And so this draft that I'll show you now, draft C, is a 3-4-3 draft. And so what I'm thinking over here is double Arsenal defense and double Liverpool defense. So it's a kind of a balance between both. So I'm thinking double Arsenal, double Liverpool there. A little bit of upside there as well. I think I'm covering like the double Arsenal defense by going with this option. And I think Alisson probably, I can't see him being too high on everyone's sort of list of players to bring in as well. So whether it's sort of free hit or no free hit. So so I think there could be some good save points there, bonus points as well. So I decided to go with Alisson in goal there. Again, Trent for the upside, and White, even if he gets sort of subbed, maybe he gets subbed with a who knows, with a clean sheet. That would be pretty awesome. And then, look, my midfield, again, I've got sort of Bruno and Watkins in there, but that could easily be a different player. So I don't have a third Crystal Palace player in this particular draft. So that Bruno spot could be Elise as well. So that could be quite a fun yeah, draft to play as well. Up front, I've got Watkins again. Like Watkins has been on fire. Like he's been playing really well. So yeah, very much tempted to keep Watkins in the side. If I had to just pick one single game week player, it'd probably be Watkins as well. I do like the idea of having Cunha there as well, so that could easily be an option. But I think I'm a little bit more, having sort of tinkered with this particular draft a fair bit, I'm a bit more sort of settled on these particular players, and then opportunity of taking, Bruno out to bring in Elise, just because I don't have that third Palace, player there as well. Take a big swig of my lovely white wine that I'm drinking this evening. Yeah, so let me know what you think so far with those 3 drafts there that I've showed you. Hey Shamil, great to have you there. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I really do like draft C, and I think it's because I feel like I'm covering majority of the players that are probably going to be in most free hit drafts anyway. My only reservation, and I'd love to get your sort of feedback or comments around this. My only reservation is that I don't have any sort of the City players. I don't have of the City players, I don't have Foden, Haaland. I don't have Palmer, who's very highly owned and is just on great form as well. So I think the difficulty I have is that I don't have some of those highly owned single game week players, even like Isak as well, who's on fire as well at the moment. And so yes, I'm not feeling too good about not having some of those single game week players. So of the single game week players that you have in your side, if you are on a free hit as well, let me know which ones are you seriously considering to keep in your free hit draft. Be good to know. I do like the Bruno pick, Shamil, but yeah, if there was one single game week pick that I've got in my drafts at the moment, that would probably be the one that I'd be sacrificing. So yeah, not sure about that one. And then finally, if I go to my last draft, so this is a all out attack, double Arsenal, double Liverpool attack on this one. Only doublers as well. Really happy with this pick, like this draft as well. So this is where I'm sort of deciding, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go doublers all round. I was on the spaces with Andy Martin earlier in the week, and I was talking about sort of single game week players in that spaces, and he was like, honestly, like you've got an opportunity to go all out sort of attack with, or double the chance with each of your players, so why not just go doublers all round as well. So, and I've been kind of getting similar kind of feedback and sentiments from other managers that I've been chatting to as well about going into a double game week with a free hit draft as well. So yeah, it's a tricky one, because whilst I love this draft, and I sort of made this draft off the back of a conversation I was having with PSB, and yeah, it was he's not wrong. Like he was like, oh, you should you should probably just go all doublers and just go for the kill. So I mean, if anything, Solanke could become Watkins again. I just kind of fancy Watkins there. I do like this draft though, and again, Havertz could become Odegaard instead. So there's a bit of like minutes risk going around about Havertz at the moment as well. Same with Trent. But I think like if I had to sort of balance this out, then Trent being the minutes risk would probably be the only player that I'd want to take that risk with, and Havertz maybe sort of second in that sort of list. I think Diaz is pretty nailed. I think that front line, although, Gakpo may get a start ahead of Darwin as well. So, yeah, I feel like Diaz is definitely sort of nailed there. Jota will definitely get minutes as well. In fact, I could see him sort of starting against Everton maybe. It's a really good fixture for Jota, playing, so I quite like this draft, I would say, over the other ones if I'm thinking pure attack. as well. So given I am chasing and there's only a few more game weeks to go, I feel like this probably is the draft that I'm leaning towards. But there is a tiny part of me that's like, oh, I'm not sure how I feel about not having single game week players. Hey Dheeraj, great to see you. So you have 2 free transfers and a hit if I'm on triple captain. Tossing between free hit or triple captain now. Who would you triple captain though? Like, are you thinking Salah for triple captaincy? Where would you go? Hey Q, great to be chatting to you as well, given you're on a free hit as well. We can both go. We can both go Bruno and enjoy his points together. Yeah, look, yeah, no, that's fair. Like we did that with Muniz as well. I know you went Muniz ahead of before I did, and really loved that pick and glad I brought him in before everyone else decided to go there and bring him in as well. So, but also, like I hate to say it. Obviously, I have a bias towards like not bringing in United players, but I have to admit I don't mind the Bruno, the Bruno pick there, just because he is performing like okay, I would say, not necessarily well, but I don't mind that pick in there. So yeah, so look, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. So yeah, let me know in the chat. Please do hit like and please do subscribe. This is the first time I'm doing a team selection or a draft kind of a stream, and haven't done one of these before. I'm usually just rambling along about talking about my game week and like a bit of a video diary of basically where I'm at, what I'm thinking. So yeah, let me know what you think with these 2 drafts. Like, are you tempted with double Liverpool defense, double Arsenal defense? Is that sort of your jam in general? And or is the 3-4-3 with playing 3 up front, and obviously Watkins could become a Cunha, could become a McBurney. I mean, yeah, I don't mind a McBurney just for a punt sort of pick there on a free hit. So Q, have you thought about Odegaard instead of Havertz? Yeah, I have. Yeah, definitely. And I think this is where I'm like, not sure. I think Havertz could be a lot of fun to have. He's playing, that sort of forward role, whereas Odegaard is obviously playing deep sometimes as well. So yeah, not sure about that one. And question for me as well. As a Liverpool fan, would you prioritise the double Liverpool attack over double defence? Gosh, if you asked me this a couple of weeks ago, I'd probably say definitely double Liverpool attack, just because we are such an attacking side, and that's generally the way we play, right? But recently, I just given we've not been able to score many open, game like open play goals, it's just been really strange. I honestly I don't recognize what's going on with this Liverpool side at the moment. It's kind of hard for me to watch as a Liverpool supporter, and I'm really hoping that we can turn it around and things will just kind of improve. And yeah, now that we've only got the league to play for, and we've got to hope that City will drop some points. I'm not entirely sure how that's going to happen, but yeah, even on the goal difference side, we need to start scoring some goals. I think Arsenal have just been smashing it like earlier on, like maybe about 3 or 4 game weeks ago, where they were scoring so many goals, right? So, but yeah, we need to kind of like catch up on that. We're just not getting those open play goals in. So yeah, whatever's going on, I would definitely want to attack a lot more with the Liverpool players. So yeah, that's what I would probably go with. But not feeling that great about it, I have to admit. Which is why I think I'm leaning towards the draft D at the moment, just because it's all out attack, with Arsenal and Liverpool, and I feel like they're gonna have to, given that they're both out of Europe now as well. You're either White and Saliba or Trent and Robbo. and Odegaard or Jota. There's just too many options. You're absolutely right. And that's the problem that I've had as well, that there's just too many sort of variations that we could have. And you'll notice, like in my sort of playing side, I don't have any Sheffield United players, and I don't have any Wolves players, in terms of playing as my starting 11. But yeah, I just don't think, I don't know. Like I know Cunha's been on form, like he's been playing reasonably well, but that Arsenal fixture, I just don't fancy it. Arsenal have been really decent away as well, so yeah, not really feeling that. Eight Nori, I've just put him on the bench. He's on my third bench, mostly because it's Eight Nori and he's been playing really well, but we just don't know what his minutes are going to be like as either. So yeah, I think we're just going to have to see, how that goes there. Any sort of preferences? Let me know. So Diraj, your triple captaincy would be on Salah. It'll be fun in free hit. He'll be captain. Yeah. Yeah, so actually let's talk about captaincy for a bit as well. So at the moment, like you'll see that in all of my drafts here, I've got my captaincy on Salah, and I've got my vice captaincy on Eze. And I have to admit, I'm not 100% on Salah. I'm not feeling it like, it's got to be Salah and nobody else. I think he is definitely the best captaincy shout in general. Like if we had to just make a very quick decision, if it was just like before a deadline, 5 minutes before deadline, that kind of thing, I think it'd be really tight between Salah and Eze for me. But I'm now hearing maybe Eze's not on pens as well, so so I'm a bit tentative about that. Like I'm not sure anymore. Like if he's on pens, then yeah, I think I definitely want to go for like an Eze, two home fixtures. But are we sort of considering Palace to be, I don't know, prime Brazil or something like that? I'm not sure. I mean, they've been really good attacking. Even Munoz has been really good. I was chatting to Q earlier, and he was saying, we were just chatting about how there's not that much data on him, but he's been looking really good. So, yeah, I think my captaincy is definitely on Salah at the moment, but I'd be very close to going Eze as well. Saka is someone that I would consider, but given his form and the epic limping that he's doing at the moment as well, I'm not that enthusiastic about captaining Saka, unfortunately, which is a really strange thing to say, because like he'd be a really good captaincy shout given the fixtures, right? Like if this was like 5 or 6 game weeks ago, we probably wouldn't sort of hesitate too much going Saka captaincy, or in fact, we wouldn't be hesitating going Salah captaincy either. Hey Calvin, great to see you. Shamil, Mateta versus Cunha. I'm going Mateta, quite firmly on Mateta, I feel, mostly because Mateta's just got such a presence on field, right? And he's getting, like, he's in the box and he's also everywhere. Like he's tracking back as well. He's just, just doing all the right things. And I think like between him and Edouard, it seems like he's getting majority of the minutes as well. Obviously, he probably won't play a whole 90, but he's playing close to 90. But even if he plays like a 60, 70 minutes or so, I think Mateta is a really good pick for a forward spot, and probably will be highly owned as well. I know there was a lot of Mateta in a lot of non-free hit drafts as well. So yeah, it's really hard to say, but I reckon he'll be highly owned, and definitely a good pick. But Cunha, again, they're two home fixtures for Wolves as well, so yeah, it's I think you're just gonna have to pick. It's kind of 50-50 on a lot of players at the moment, like especially with the so if I like sort of go to the draft D that I'm a little bit more keen on. So with this particular draft, you can see there, like, you could go 50-50 picks on a lot of these spots, right? Like Diaz could be Jota, Havertz could be Odegaard. I mean, Eze, for me, Eze is nailed in my drafts, but Elise is a really good, like, opportunity as well. Shamil, you're saying you're captaining Saka. That's awesome. That's really good. Um, and pretty brave. I don't think I could, just because, yeah, of how he's been playing. But, like, again, Saka had this streak of um, not playing that well, not getting the returns, and then getting a couple of double digit hauls back to back, right? Like he was getting more than, yeah, definitely double digit. At least sort of 3 back to back weeks or so of that, which was just phenomenal. So that could happen again. Who knows? That could be the turning point, and Saka all of a sudden is going to get a double digit haul. Who knows, right? The other sort of 50-50 pick again, so Trent, like if I'm not feeling too good about Trent at just before deadline, I reckon I'd probably go Robbo, just because, yeah, again, sort of an attacking return point of view. But you know what? Having said that, Van Dijk is a really good pick as well. I think, like, from a set piece threat point of view, just a really good pick. Probably will get sort of maximum minutes over the next 2 fixtures anyway. So, yeah, Van Dijk's definitely a good shout there. I think there's definitely, with this particular draft, I definitely think that there's some safer picks that I could be going with in here. So Havertz becomes Odegaard, Trent becomes Van Dijk. Gabriel, I think, is pretty nailed there. Solanke, yeah, I'd probably go with Solanke there as well. So yeah, I think like those two will probably be the ones that you could sort of switch around to a different sort of player within the same team. Munoz doesn't need to be there as well, so I could easily just go double Crystal Palace attack and then decide that, yeah, I'm going to bring in, I don't know, like a Mikolenko, just start Mikolenko just from an attacking threat point of view. Because that Forest fixture, which is home for Everton, is a really good fixture. So, yeah, I think, that could be a good shout as well. So, yeah, I've got Pickford in goal at the moment, but that could easily become Henderson, for example, if I decided to play Mikolenko. So going back to Q's point earlier, there's just so many different variations that we could go with at the moment. Shamil, so you reckon Palmer? Yeah, Palmer will be good. Yeah, he'll probably perform. I agree, and I think this is where, like, the single game week players, we are sort of and that's the problem with a free hit, right? Like, it's so easy to put on the free hit sort of rose tinted glasses of double fixtures and go for those. But I think over here, as you can see, I went with like Bruno just because of the home fixture against Sheffield United, and Watkins again, against Bournemouth, and again it's a home fixture, so yeah, it just feels like a good opportunity to bring in some of those single game week players as well. So that's pretty much it. Like, that's what I wanted to share, and I was just going to show you. So I finally activated my free hit chip on the Premier League website itself. I hadn't actually done that. Like, I was playing around with my draft for so long on FPL Team that I hadn't really sort of activated my chip. And I, not that I wasn't confident that I would be activating my chip, but I just hadn't really gone in there and started to sort of put the players in place. And so you can see here the side that I'm probably leaning towards the most was kind of draft D. But instead of Solanke, I've got Watkins in there, and I've got McBurney on the bench there as well, which I think I had in the previous draft anyway. But yeah, so if I just read out my team really quickly, so I've got Pickford in goal, got Gabriel, Trent, and Munoz in my defensive lineup. And then I've got Saka, Diaz, that's Luis Diaz, not Ben Brereton Diaz, like many others have as well. And I've got Havertz, Salah, captaincy on Salah, and Eze in the midfield there. And then I've just got Mateta and Watkins up front. But as I mentioned earlier, Watkins could easily be Solanke. But this is probably the draft that I'm leaning towards the most, just to maximise on the doublers, opportunity. I think with Pickford, I'm not sure what I'm expecting here. Like, maybe a clean sheet against Forest, potentially save points. I think that's what I'm expecting there. I think if anything, I'm not expecting a clean sheet from Palace either. I mean, they've got West Ham who are generally attacking as well. I mean, they can sit back, but yeah, I reckon that they'll probably attack. Newcastle, there's no way that there's going to be surely a clean sheet in that one. Gordon's just on fire. Isak is on fire as well. I just can't see a clean sheet there. So I think if anything, the Forest fixture and that home, home to at Everton is a really good fixture for a potential clean sheet. And then, there'll be shots and given like the Liverpool match could be a really cagey Merseyside derby, I feel like that could, you never know, that could end up being like 1-1, 0-0 even. We've seen it happen before. I mean, I'd like to think Liverpool are going to attack and they're going to go hard, but I think because our confidence is fairly shallow, I would say, you just don't know. You just don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what I'm thinking from a free hit draft point of view. I'm about 90% locked in with this particular draft, barring my captaincy and maybe Havertz to Odegaard and maybe Diaz to Jota, depending on my risk appetite. So maybe swap those around or something like that. I think Odegaard will definitely get the minutes. Havertz obviously is a bit tentative. Diaz will definitely get the minutes. His form has been incredible, and Jota is obviously the risky pick there as well. And Trent, I just feel like there's a really good chance. I don't know if I'm going to own Trent for the remainder of the season, and so this might be my only chance to have Trent in the side. So yeah, so this is what my free hit draft is looking like. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Please do hit like. Please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and you kind of like some differential content as well, just a different perspective. Definitely trying to do that a little bit more. And yeah, so there you have it. Let me know what you think, though. Just leave me a comment. Is there anything that you would change in this particular draft? Any other considerations that I should be making? Obviously, I've not tuned into the presses, so yeah, I'll be tuning into those shortly after this stream just to kind of check out what we've learned, if anything. So yeah, there's a whole sort of less than 24 hours to go before the deadline over here in Australia anyway. It's almost 10:30 p.m. over here on Friday. So yeah, have a great Friday from wherever you're watching and listening. Thank you again. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully catch you in the next one, probably sometime next week. Take it easy. Good luck.